different inventions he had. Now, the energy centers of your home. This is a house that I went to look at, and it was an old forge. It was in Laos, on the Meridian line. I thought, oh, perfect place to be. Not for me, not for me. And as you can see, you can't really see the words there, but I've started with the root at the top, then it goes to the sacral, and then we have the solar plexus, and then the heart, the throat, the brow, and the crown. So as you can see on here, this is a floor plan, and I've also put on here the compass life areas, or the compass directions, and I'll show you in another slide about the life areas. But here you can see, and I've put here about what was in each corner of the life area, because it's very, very interesting that the fireplace here had the brow. Now, the fireplace there dominated the whole room. It absolutely dominated the whole room. And it wasn't really part of the original structure of the old forge. So it was something that came in the 80s. It didn't really fit. Also, in that area, there is a window pane. And from the outside, it looks very nice and bright. From the inside, it's quite dark. And I'll show you the pictures. It's also coming into the north sector, which is your life's journey area. So perhaps the people before here made the fireplace their life's journey, but weren't quite sure of how to make it comfortable and connect to the house. But you can note here that we've got the heart in the centre. So the heart of the home is really there. It's really connecting to the people that were here. Food preparation is where the sacral is. So food meant a lot to the people that were in this home before. They would have liked preparing the food. And also the root is the table and chairs. Now the root to me would normally have been around this area, but it must have been great things that when they came through the door, through the relationships area, they headed straight to the table and chairs to eat, to nourish themselves. So that nourish their sexual energy, nourish their energy vibration, and to give them nourishing food. Now here you've got the sofa, but also it's the bedroom. It was the main bedroom that they slept in. They didn't sleep in this one, and I'll tell you why. They slept in this bedroom. Now the sofa was here. Now this is your solar plexus, the relationship. So to me it meant that you had a close relationship. So the energies were good here. But again, you've got in the northwest here, there was a church here, a very old church called St. Denis. I've never heard of St. Denis, but I looked him up and found he was a very old traditional Irish saint. And so that resonated with me as well, coming from a Celtic background. I thought, great. But it's to do with the relationships, as you can see. Northwest, helpful friends. And what the estate agent told me was, in that corner on the outside, where the church had been burnt to the ground centuries ago in the 1600s, they had left one window only, which they'd planted just here, not far from the corner of that home. And it was overbearing, very powerful energy. Also, if you can see, there's a window there. That window depicted a cross made of flowers. So again, it was connecting to that church energy. So every house will tell a story about how it's related. But also, you have got this crown energy here. So again, the crown energy is about being the bliss, the quietness of the church, and how it resonates. And you must remember, I dowsed the chakras of this before I went to see the property. So this is done all remotely. So it was quite a surprise when I came and actually saw how things fitted together. Now, on the next slide, you can see in the north you get these two windows. One's light, one's dark, but it's the same window in that fireplace area. It's in the brow. So the brow was telling me that the people there were not quite sure of the energy that they were. Were they spiritual? Were they not spiritual? Were they dark? Were they light? Perhaps the husband wasn't spiritual and the woman was, or maybe the husband was and the woman wasn't. But there's some dark and lightness there. Also, where the throat chakra is here at the doorway to this patio area, the patio area is really bleak. Bricks, nothing there at all. Not even a flower, not a plant, nothing. So it gives me the intention that there was nothing being spoken in that house. There was no communication, no love, no joy. And people would just stand at the back door and gaze at nothingness. So their communication was nothing. Oh, where am I going? This, right. So this window here was the one that's connected to the church here. So as you can see, it's slightly cross-like, but it's blue, and it was in this corner. Now, the other spooky thing was that this bedroom, this one here, was not used, and that's where the window and the church window was depicted. So every time you looked through the bedroom window, what did you see? You saw the old 16th century wall and window that had been moved there. So it was very, very much overbearing and challenging for the people that lived there. Now, this is what I liked. The ducks were showing me, do not buy this house. And they were in the relationships area and they were walking away. So, you know, you've got to take in the signs and the synchronicities when you go and look at properties. You know, what are the signs? What are they telling me? No, go away, take your family with you, which she was doing. And I met that duck all day. Every property I went to see, she was there with those little chicks. Don't get me wrong, I walked all around this place and I went to 3 properties and she was there every time. And I didn't buy one of them. So that's the kitchen area. As you can see, there's nothing much going on. You know, even though people were living there, there's nothing going on there. It's an empty energy. So where perhaps they wanted to have the love and the healthy food and thing, it wasn't happening. So nothing was happening. It was all quite bleak. Even the outside of the old forge itself was bleak. It was like Bleak House, overlooking this churchyard here. And looking through the window, can you see there? That's looking through the living room window, and it looks like bars. So you'd be imprisoned. So you were looking out of your prison onto that overbearing church energy. So that is one sort of property that you wouldn't buy if you take in the signs and the energies. You look at the compass life areas, you look at the chakras, and how does it resonate with you? Do your chakra energies resonate with anything that goes on there? Because when I saw that, compass directions, I thought, good, I fancied an old forge, I fancied living in this particular place. But when I drew it all up like this, took in all the signs and everything else, I thought, no, that energy doesn't resonate with me whatsoever.